I'm gonna let you set this one up, man, because this was your idea. So the Ringer basically dropped their top 50 NBA players. Donovan Mitchell was on the list. He was the only Cleveland Cavalier on the list. You told me personally you don't believe the Cavaliers will be legit contenders with one top 50 player. So the question to the panel, who's closer to being a top 50 player? Evan Mobley or Darius Garland?
Let me before you answer that specific question. It's from Kevin O'Connor, by the way. This was his top 50 NBA players today. He gave no criteria. I'll give you. I know it's small to see here. We broke this down into tiers so you could actually read it on screen. He didn't give any criteria on how he judged. John Morant's in the same tier as Donovan Mitchell, so it's not based off this season. It looks like he calculated what you've done in the past with what you've done this year. No perfect science. This is Kevin O'Connor's top 50. In Donovan Mitchell's tier, Mitchell is a tier 6 guy. Now he went, Jokic was tier 1 by himself, and then not it had it equal, but this was tier 6 with Donovan Mitchell, which was between 15 and 21. So he didn't put a number next to these names, but these were the players between 15 and 21. John Morant, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Dame Lillard, Paul George, and Anthony Edwards. Initial thoughts on this part of it before we move on. Because I think he's a little too low between 15 and 21, but he's in the same category as Anthony Edwards. I think he's better than Harden and Damian Lillard at this point. If you want to argue Paul George one way or another, I'll have it either way. But I think if this is the tier he's in, he's at the top of this tier, but I think he should be one tier up.
Ja is so hard to gauge anymore. It's hard to put a grade on him for anything. I'm not a Harden fan. I've never been a Harden fan. I know he's living his best life, and the Clippers are getting their best version of Harden right now, but I don't expect it to last because it's not April yet.
Yeah.
April, May, and June, he'll do what he does.
That's messed up to say.
It's true.
We got plenty of proof. April, he'll star in April, but by May and June.
The tier above, by the way, so this was 10 to 15. This is just ahead of that list. Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis, Tyrese Halliburton, and Wembanyama. And I think Wembanyama is way too high. Halliburton, I think you could have an argument, should be a tier lower. Yeah. But he's in the same class as Donovan. Wemby, who's been incredible, like literally unbelievable, I think is just too early to put him in that tier. But any big issue with where Donovan is before we get to the bottom?
Read that again.
Tier above Donovan's tier. Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis, Wemby, and Halliburton.
I'd put him in that one.
I don't know that Halliburton deserves to be in there yet, but I don't think Donovan is. Would you trade Donovan for Kevin Durant straight up? I would. I'd rather have Kevin Durant on my team than Donovan Mitchell.
Right now, Durant's better.
Yeah. I mean, people in Cleveland may disagree. I'd rather have Jimmy Butler than Donovan Mitchell. Jimmy Butler in the playoffs? I'll take that guy every time.
There you go.
Can we have Donovan in the regular season and Jimmy in the playoffs? The former super player?
Yeah, right.
Anthony Davis?
I'd rather have AD than Donovan Mitchell.
AD, obviously.
Yeah. And then Wemby and Halliburton. I think it's too early for Wemby, Halliburton.
I'd take Wemby.
If you want to argue one way or another.
Halliburton should probably be down in Donovan's tier. But I don't think Donovan should be in that tier with those guys.
So for the most part.
I think it's about right.
Okay. So this is where it gets interesting. This is what I really want to talk about. According to Kevin O'Connor, and this is his top 50 from TheRinger, Donovan's the only Cav in the top 50. He does not have an honorable mention, so I don't know if Darius, Jarrett, and Evan Mobley are 51, 52, 53. We have no idea where anyone outside of the top 50 comes in. Here are the players in tiers 9 and tiers 10. These are the bottom two tiers. In tier 9, Siakam, Draymond Green, Derek White, who plays the Cavaliers tonight, Paolo Banchero, Mikal Bridges, Lauri Markkanen, and Zion Williamson. That's tier 9. Those players, like 35 to 42. Tier 10 now. This is the last tier of his top 50. Desmond Bane, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Franz Wagner, Drew Holiday, Alperen Sengun of Houston, Julius Randle, and Jaren Jackson. My big picture, and I know you guys are just kind of seeing this for the first time as opposed to seeing this earlier. If you want to argue one of the guys is better than Scotty Barnes, sure, I'll listen. I probably would have both Darius and Jarrett over Scotty Barnes at this point, and I think there's a very good argument to be made that Evan Mobley should be over Scotty Barnes too. If you want to tell me that they're better than Julius Randle, I'll listen. I think it's a debate to be had. I think if you want to tell me Franz Wagner's a little too high, I'll listen too. But at the end of the day, if we're arguing whether Darius Garland, who's played a max contract, is a bubble top 50 guy, I say we need more from Darius. If we say Evan Mobley is a bubble top 50 guy, maybe you guys think he's way higher. I'm looking at it. If he's a bubble top 50 guy, I think we need a little more from Evan. And I think Jarrett maxed out what he is. This is the best version of Jarrett Allen. And he's right in that 45 to 55 conversation. But if you only have one top 15 guy and one guy who solidified himself a bona fide top 50 guy, we may have to reevaluate the ceiling of this Cavs team. I don't think you win a championship with one top 50 guy, one bona fide, surefire, unquestionable top 50 guy. Do you guys disagree with where Darius should be ranked or not ranked? Or can you make a compelling case that one of those three guys should be a certified lock over any of the guys that were on that list?
This sort of illustrates what you and I were talking about on the Cavs podcast a couple weeks ago about when everyone was screaming, trade Darius, trade Darius, trade Darius. I'm saying, guys, I don't think he has the value that you think he does. He's got a max contract, biggest contract in team history. And by the way, I'm not for trading Darius even without that. But I just –
You're bringing up a different point.
Yeah, I'm making a different point here of the value – the trade value around the league isn't what you think it is. He's an undersized point guard with a massive contract with a long injury history. And now, Kevin O'Connor is not the authority on NBA, but there's one guy's opinion. He's not even a top 50 player. What do you think you're going to get for this? Like, you're not going the return you're going to get on him is not even close to what he provides you on this team. So, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw him. Like, well, that kind of proves the point we were making on the podcast. The trade value around the league just isn't there right now. I still believe in Darius. I think he's an excellent talent. I think he's a great player. I think he's probably better without another ball-dominant guard next to him. But, again, what we were saying earlier in the show, the best version of the Cavs is they have to figure it out and play together, even if that means sacrificing a little bit. I think I would have him on that list. I would have Darius over some of those guys you're talking about. I think he is a top 50 player in the NBA. But it's when you lay it out in those terms, it's interesting how low he is. And I have to say, from day one, I was one of the guys saying Evan Mobley will be a number one on a championship level team. That's how much I believe in this guy. That's how good I think he's going to be. That's what scouts were telling me going into the draft. And he doesn't mean he's not going to get there, but he hasn't progressed to the level that I thought that he would to this point. That's fair.
And real quick, before each other, I'm not saying Darius shouldn't be in there. I'm saying he's in that conversation. I think you make an argument if you want to say he's above one of those guys. I'm all for hearing that discussion.
He's probably got the biggest contract of all those.
But I don't think he's necessarily a lock. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's Darius Garland certified 100% unquestioned top 50 guy. Tyvis, what do you say?
Why is it always money with you?
Because expectations come with money.
You gotta earn your.
Darius is a top 50 player. He definitely deserves to be on that list because the healthy version of Darius, if you actually take everything that he's done in his career, I think it's a lot better than a lot of some of those guys on that list for sure. Darius is just he came off injury and he was trying to find his way. Now, he, for some odd reason, got his blinders on. He needs to go back to being that playmaker that he once was. You know, I think he's gotten the scoring part down. He can still shoot threes. He's been shooting at a high clip these last few games. I just think his decision-making isn't great because he's turning the ball over. I think once he gets that part back, he'll be a top 50 player again. Evan Mobley just got to get confidence in his shot. If he was more of an outside shooter and just shot it more confidently and hit more, he'd easily be a top 50 player because of all the things that he does. Because in the NBA, you don't find too many guys that do it both offensively and defensively. Yeah. He's a great defensive player. Offensively, when it comes to shooting is where he struggles at. Once he gets that down, he'll be a complete NBA player, which is something that you can't find. Darius, even at Darius's best, he's always been a defensive liability. So I think both of them will eventually get to the top 50. I still think Darius should be in there, but Evan Mobley, I think he'll be there sooner or later.
On this list 2 years ago, Darius Garland's on the list.
That's
what I'm saying.
All-Star Darius Garland 2022
I don't
is 100% in there. And he didn't give any context to how he ranked, so that's why I don't want to, I can't believe he put this player over. I mean, Scotty Barnes, we've talked about 100 times. I didn't think he should make the All-Star team over Jarrett Allen. I think he's a little overrated. His stats are inflated being on a bad Toronto team. But I agree that Darius, if he's in there, do you guys, with tier 10, he's on that last tier. Would you put him over any of the tier 9 guys? And we pull up the tier 9 list again.
So you see me.
These are tier 9 guys, the second to lowest tier. and then we'll see if he fits. Because I do think Darius probably should be in here, but these are tier 9. Would you put Darius Garland over any of these guys?
Mikal Bridges.
Boy, Markkanen sticks out, doesn't he?
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Markkanen really sticks out on that list.
Nah, I would have really hurt if Colin Sexton was on that list. I'd be like,
Sexton's not on it. Tyler Hero's not on it. I saw a lot of Miami fans mad that Tyler. It's not just Cavs were omitted. Like obviously everyone outside the top 50.
Everyone's gonna yell and scream
Yeah.
at lists like this.
the only person I can think of is Bridges. That's the only person outside of that. And that's a hard fight for me.
I mean Bridges.
Bridges
is really good.
That's what I'm saying. That's a hard fight for me. But
I think if he's on here, he's a tier 10 guy.
Yeah.
So let's see the tier 10 guys real quick. So this is the tier 10 guys according to Kevin O'Connor. Desmond Bain, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Franz Wagner, Drew Holiday, Sengun, Randall, and Jaren Jackson.
Holiday probably makes more than Darius.
Holiday does make more.
He's off the hook.
Yeah.
That man's making
counting their money.
He's making $34 million this year. Is he a $34 million player right now?
Who?
Darius.
He gonna be for the next 3 games.
But Ty, so you said he definitely be on here. Who would you replace with Darius Garland?
Scotty Barnes.
I agree. Like I'm all for that. Jason, would he be your replacement as well? Scotty Barnes?
I mean, I don't know if Franz Wagner deserves to be on there.
Yeah, him too. That's the two that sticks out to me.
Either one of those guys. I think Darius should be on the list.
Yeah.
I think right now he should be on the list. Probably in that 48 to 50
Scotty
range.
Barnes and Wagner should be on. This should be Tyler Hero and
there's probably other guys I didn't see, but I think to the big picture. So we'll end with this before we move on to a little football. Let's say Darius is on that list in that tier 10, right? Mm-hmm. Can you win a championship with one guy who's a 10 to 15-ish player in Donovan Mitchell, and your second best player be a 45 to 50 guy?
Yeah, I know somebody that did it. His name is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because Drew Holiday is the last on that list, and I don't know where Giannis is on that list. So yeah,
Giannis is 3,
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yes.
But also Giannis.
The answer is yes.
But Giannis was 2 or 3,
No,
not 10
the
to
answer
15.
is
The
no.
answer is yes.
The answer
It's
is
been
no.
listen, in the past 20-something years, it's been 3 guys, it's been 3 teams that's did it with one great player and a bunch of just role players. Dirk Nowitzki did it, Kawhi Leonard did it, and Giannis Antetokounmpo did it. So there it is.
The difference in those 3 you named, those 3, the season they won it, were top 5 guys, unquestioned.
Donovan. Well, never mind.
Pull up the list one more time,
Never
just to
mind.
go over the top
Can't
6
even
for,
go
for
over that.
KFC.
Can't even go
And
over
I don't
that.
think there's really an argument. Steve, pull up the big tag board again. But he had Jokic 1, Giannis and Embiid 2,
Okay.
Lucas, Steph, SGA, 4, 5, 6 in some numerical order. LeBron, Kawhi, Tatum, and Booker. I mean, any argument with those being your top, what's that, top 10?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you can quibble about the order. But
Giannis should be number 1, but outside of all of that, the rest of it, I'm cool with.
So you don't have a top 10 guy, and your second best is top 45 to 50.
that does not win
Tough-
championships.
tough recipe to win a
That does not win
championship
championships in the NBA.
I just told
Not
you,
impossible.
I just told you what happened.
It's not
You
impossible.
can if you have a top 3 guy. But I don't think you're going to make the case Donovan's a top 3 guy right now.
Dirk was that good when he won it all?
Yeah.
Probably
and,
not top 3, but he was.
And I mean, that is the we've talked about it before. That is the one series you can put on LeBron and say,
Yeah.
you blew that. That should
It's
have
a
been
black
a
mark
Miami
on his
win.
resume.
That
The
should
only
have been
real
a
black
Miami
mark.
win.
Yeah. All right, Earl, you ready to talk a little football?